Hello everyone, welcome to my review of the Tesla Model S. It's been about 30,000 miles and about almost a year now since I've owned the car. And I want to show you guys a review, everything that's happened to the car, what it's been like driving the car, my experience so far driving the Model S, especially now that Tesla's lowered the price. So I want to show you guys whether or not I think it's worth it to buy the car and whether or not I would actually buy the car again. So fun fact, I actually bought this car used. It's a 2022 Tesla Model S refresh, long range. Came in all black, but I wrapped it in crimson red, or kind of similar to an ultra red color because I really like the ultra red, but the car was all black. So let me show you guys the interior, the exterior, what has happened since these 30,000 miles, and since this is 1 year of ownership. So hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys. So here's the interior of the car. We're gonna start with the steering wheel first. So first thing I did when I got the car was that I realized I didn't like the yoke. The yoke was really cool. However, the yoke was really hard to drive with because it was a giant square. Whenever you basically do a U-turn, whenever you'd have enhanced autopilot or full self-driving, that giant yoke, which is like a square or rectangle, it would just be so hard to maneuver, and it was kind of really hard to turn the wheel. You get used to it, but it did not feel natural. So essentially, I actually paid the $700 and then I upgraded to this new wheel. I know it's kind of expensive, but for me, it was worth it just because I did not have fun driving the car. So also with this 2022 version of the Tesla Model S, the horn is right here. So you can press the horn, but it is not does not feel natural. All the new Model S's, new Model X's, you can press the horn here. It's back in the middle, so which is really cool, which I like. Another thing about the car itself was that, as you can see, it's in this crimson red, ultra red color. However, it came in all black. I bought the car used, but then I decided to wrap it because I really like the ultra red version of the car. So I wrapped it kind of in this really ultra red looking color, and I'll make a video on that as well later on in the future. With regards to the interior, how's it held up? So interior's been holding up pretty well. I haven't had any really issues with the interior. It's all good to go for the interior. The only real issue I had here was this thing. It wasn't closing when I first got it, so Tesla fixed it in like a matter of a few hours, and that was like the only main interior problem. I haven't had many interior problems. A lot of people could complain about the build quality. Like they do this thing here, they say, oh, it's too loud, or what's going on, or they shake this, like, right? Everyone's complaining. But in all honesty, I think it's a great car. It's fine for me. I understand like BMWs, Mercedes-Benzes, they have much better interiors, but for me, I really like the Tesla. A lot of times you gotta realize this is more or less a software company than it is a real big car company. So they really heavily focus on the software, which I really enjoy. You can't have everything, so that's been pretty good. Screen has been good for me as well. No issues with the screen. Very great when it comes to like movement, when it comes to the UI, the user interface. So really enjoy the screen. Nothing crazy hasn't broke on me yet or anything, so that's been pretty good. Both screens have been also very, very solid, which I do enjoy. With regards to the back seats have been good. No issues there. The car feels very comfortable. It does actually feel more performance like, having owned a Model Y and a Model S and a Model 3. These seats definitely feel less softer than the Model 3 and Model Y seats because they are more like, I feel like a performance type of seat. You do get the ventilated seat, which is nice. That does come standard now in the new Model 3s for 2024, but in the old Model 3s it doesn't come standard. But for these S's and X's, you do get the nice ventilated seats. So overall, so far so good for the interior of the car. No main issues with regards to that, but I'm gonna go out to the exterior and show you kind of like the nooks and crannies and the things I have within the car. All right, guys, so let's move on to the exterior. Exterior has changed. If you guys watched my previous videos, I had an all black Tesla Model S. However, I wrapped it in this crimson red or ultra red looking car. And honestly, it's a big head turner. Everyone kind of looks at your car whenever you're driving by. I like it a lot better than the ultra red color. It is more shiny and vibrant. It is wrapped in ultra red. And I basically had it like wrapped for about a week or two. So the wrap is doing solid. It is kind of peeling in some places as like normal wear and tear, like right here. It's coming off right here, as well as some parts like right here and on the edges of the car, but overall holding up pretty well. Let me show you guys the front too, because most people complain about rock chips. So far this wrap is super thick and I haven't had many rock chips. So far doing good there, and I drive this car a lot, which is pretty cool. I removed the front bumper or front license plate, hence there are like little mini holes here. So that's kind of like a walk around of the front exterior of the car. It's doing rather well, no scratches or anything with that. However, I do have quite a bit of rim rash on the wheels, and that's my fault. So as you can see here, we got some rim rash on this side, all over kind of like the wheels. That's just me being bad at parking, to be honest with you. But overall, super good, super solid with regards to the car. This over here, carbon fiber spoiler hasn't fallen off. I've had instances where it has kind of like fallen off on the 3 and the Y, but so far so good. It's holding up pretty well. And then here's some more rim rash over here on the car. So that's kind of like the exterior. I've had parts of the car kind of experience issues where I got rim rash over here, and it looks like the cap for my car over here fell off as well. I have like a Tesla air cap for the wheels over here that fell off. And then overall the car is doing well with regards to just how it's holding up. Some modifications I've done, in case you guys are curious. Of course, the wrap over here, this is a long range. I put this carbon fiber cover over here for the mirrors, which is pretty cool. It doesn't fit perfectly, but you can't really tell. And then also the big one too is I painted the brake calipers red. So as you can see, these brake calipers came black. However, because it's a long range, they are coming black, so I painted it red. And then that's kind of the biggest update I did for the car. So basically the wrap and then the painting the calipers red. So that's one thing. And then the biggest issue, you guys may be wondering what's going on with the car. Has anything been messed up? Yes. So maintenance I've done, because the car has been messed up a couple times, and this is more so with the hardware itself. So these door handles, yes, they open right perfectly, but there was a time, like after 2-3 months of picking up the car, this would just constantly open and close, open and close, open and close whenever I was driving. So that was one thing they had to replace. Another thing they replaced too was this autopilot camera over here. They found out it was defective, so they had to replace the entire autopilot camera overall. So they replaced that for me. And then the biggest problem I'm facing right now, it's happened twice already. They've already replaced it once, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to do it again, is the air suspension. So if you guys are curious, there is an air suspension within the Tesla Model S and X. And basically what happened was the air suspension broke. So the car was constantly trying to put air in the car for better suspension, and just kept going and going and going. And eventually it just gave out. So that's what happened. I had it replaced about 2-3 weeks ago, but it broke again. So that's one thing that kind of sucks about the car, is that the air suspension broke again. And it's unfortunate. I'm going again tomorrow to get it fixed. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow at Tesla, get the air suspension fixed. It takes them about 24 hours to fix the air suspension, which is fine. I can't really tell the difference, to be honest with you, but it is kind of annoying. With regards to the car too, like, this car has had the most service appointments than any of my other cars, than my Model 3, my Model Y. Those cars are so mass produced, and I guess they produce them really well, that they haven't had any issues. But because maybe this is like an earlier refresh around 2022, maybe that's why I'm facing so many issues with this car. However, like, overall, it's a great car, and I enjoy it a lot. It's just that it does have its issues. So we're gonna go back inside and let's go talk about what it's been like driving the car. So overall, driving the car has been great. It gets about 405 miles of range, which is a lot. That's if you have the normal aero wheels, or the normal wheels it comes with. But because I have the Arachnid wheels, which has like much more of an aggressive look, and I like it looks a lot better, I'm only getting around 375 miles of range. When I charge it to 100%, I'm getting around 369 miles of range. So always important for Tesla is that you need to multiply everything by 0.7, 0.8, and that's your true range. So true range, if I'm actually go from like 100 to 0, is probably around 310, 320, which is pretty good. especially because after I've noticed from driving long distances, I do need a break. I will drive a lot from Southern California to Northern California, which is around like 8-9 hours. Because I have the Tesla Model S long range, instead of making 3 or 4 stops to Northern California from Southern California, I'll make only 2 or 3 stops, which does save me around 40 minutes or so of driving. Is it worth it to get this car and pay double of a Model 3 or Model Y? I don't know. I think if you get Model 3 or Model Y, you should be just as fine. But if you want that premium look, that most expensive Tesla, I do recommend getting the Model S, because it is kind of like their flagship car. I personally think it looks the coolest out of all their cars, and you do get the most range. If I were to do this again and get a brand new Tesla, that's a Model S, I would get the Model S long range and then get the normal like wheels it comes with. I think it's like Gemini wheels, I forgot what it's called, but get that 405 range, do a long range. It's around $75,000 right now, and it's lowered down its price a lot since it first came out. If you're really into speed, then get the Plaid, but to be honest with you, this is plenty fast. I have driven the Plaid so many times, Model S Plaid, and it gives me a headache because it's just way too fast and it's way too much acceleration. You also do get less range. It is kind of like a status thing if you can tell people you have a Plaid, because most people have heard the Plaid like it's the fastest car in that's like available to most people, the Model S Plaid in production, yeah. So get the Plaid if you think you want that super speed, that really fast, and you want to do track mode. I believe, like, I personally, knowing I just use this to drive to work, to school, to wherever it may be, I just use this car for those purposes. So the Model S Plaid wasn't needed or right for me. Hence the reason I went with the Model S long range. So that's kind of what it's been like with regards to this car. Regarding driving has been really, really good. I personally think now that I've driven the Model 3 2024 Highland and the Model S long range, it feels the same. Like, the suspension feels good, right? The reason most people will get a Model S long range is because they want the smoother suspension, they want the easier ride. And driven the Model 3 2024 Highland, which I have videos in my YouTube if you guys want to check it out, they feel the same, right? I think you get a great car with the Model 3 2024 Highland if you want great suspension, but also with the Model S long range. You will get a lot of looks in this car because not a lot of people have a Model S, because it is much more expensive, almost double the price of a Model 3. And Model 3s are kind of everywhere because they're like that every person's car. So that's why you'll see a lot of Model 3s around. But when it comes to the Model S, you won't see many Model S's around. So keep that in mind. You will get like a lot of head turns. Overall, the car is, of course, more expensive to charge than the Model 3 and the Model Y because it has a much bigger battery, right? My Model 3 performance had around 300 miles. My Model Y performance had 300 miles. This is around like 370, 380, almost. If you get the other one, depending on your wheels, you're 400. So you will be paying more when it comes to charging the car, but that's just because you have a bigger battery. So just keep that in mind whenever you're purchasing a Model 3, Model S, Model Y, whatever it may be, right? So overall, that battery has been game changer though, especially if I go on long trips because I drive a ton. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to parking the car, this is my biggest gripe with it, right? The Model Y was a big car. Model 3 was a pretty big car too. However, the Model S is even bigger than all of them just because it's so long of a car. This car can be hard to park at times. There's so many times in like San Francisco where I'll try and park and the car is so long and I can't do like a parallel parking, or the car is so long and I have to like basically like find other parking spots for the car, which does make it kind of interesting. So that was my biggest gripe with the car, is how hard it is to park, right? So also, most Model S's you'll see on the road are all the older versions of the Model S's. So a lot of people start looking at your car when they realize, oh, it's a refresh, oh, it's a different car, right? It does look relatively the same, to be honest with you, but you do kind of get some looks here and there because you have a Model S, which is pretty cool. And if you don't like the attention, like probably get like a different car, right? But overall, been fun driving the car. When it comes to the insurance of the car, it's double the price. Having a Model 3 and a Model Y, I paid around 80-90 bucks, right, for monthly insurance. Now I'm paying around 210, 220, which is a lot more expensive than I would have liked to pay, because it is considered their luxury sedan, and it is much more, I guess, expensive to replace the car, right? The Model S I've had right now. Also, I've had it for about a year. So the only major accident, which is my biggest gripe, is that I've had the right tire explode. So I was driving to Nevada, Las Vegas from Southern California, and then the right tire, because it's so close to the battery, it just cracked open. So in the middle of the desert, my tire cracked open and I had to get it replaced as I was driving up to the desert. And that was a huge kind of issue. Apparently it happens a lot with the Teslas because their tires are so close to the battery that when it cracks open, it honestly essentially like destroys the wheel and you have to get it replaced, and it's very, very dangerous. So that's happened to me, and that was my biggest gripe about the car, was that you pay so much money for this car and then the tire just gives out and breaks on you mid-drive, and that was very scary. So my overall thoughts about this car, given that it's happened so many times, I give it around like an 8 out of 10, right? It's a fun car to drive, a lot of range, especially if you drive a ton. The battery's so big, which I really like. It looks really cool. However, my only kind of gripes about the car is that, one, insurance is more expensive because it is a premium car. 2, that tire did pop. And then 3, I've had a lot of maintenance with the car, with like regards to the suspension braking, the tire braking, the door handles braking, and things of that nature. However, if you do want like a premium luxury sedan or luxury car, the Model S is the way to go because of the way it looks, the large battery, and then the large charging infrastructure that Tesla does have all across the United States and all across the world. So yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do want to buy a Tesla, use my link below in the description to purchase your Tesla. I believe you get full self-driving as well as supercharging miles. And then like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching, Jello family. If you guys want more Tesla videos, I'll keep posting. And I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day, Jello family. Peace.